same clip, same joke, same face. Yeah, I'm over it. New tab, new flame, new show, new name. We don't play the same lane, we don't shake the same frame. One night it's cold cases, next night main pages. Headline heat, biggest waves without beat. Hit replay every week, new crew talking, new chair, new host walking. Spin the wheel of what's trending, say the thing they all defending, but this is no safe state. Uncensored conversation, unfiltered, unapologetic. We ask every question, true crime, pop culture. What's breaking while you wait? Take a break from the boring. Come get lost in no safe takes, no safe takes, no safe takes. Take a break from the boring. Come get loud with no safe takes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, not bad at all. How are you?
Doing okay. Faring.
Well, listen, we are here barely today. Lady K her household is not feeling well today, and I am struggling. It's raining here, and I just want to go ahead and get back in the bed. But we are here to face the day nevertheless.
That's right. We're here to kick some butt.
That's right. That's right. So please, please, please make sure that you hit the like button this morning when you come in to support the page. It costs you nothing, but we appreciate it. If you end up on the replay, please make sure that you um, drop us a comment on what you're thinking, what your thoughts are, and what your, opinions of this topics that we're going to discuss today, surrounding lifestyle and relationships. I think that would be great. We're going to play the replay crew video real quick just to get all the, administrative stuff out of the way so we can get into the conversations.
Sounds good.
All right. There we go. So shout out to the replay crew. Thank you to everybody who is watching these videos on the replay. I know that these times don't always work. Some people are in bed. This is the middle of the day. Some people may be at work and not able to listen. So we really, really do appreciate those replays. And for those who may catch the end of it, but they go back and they watch the beginning of it, we do appreciate that. We have been very impressed is probably not the right word, grateful at the success that the analytics have shown for this particular channel so far. And it makes it feel like it's worth it. Like we're putting in this work, all of the hosts and all of the people who are helping us out. We're putting in this work to bring a new set of content, a different kind of content that we haven't done before. That we haven't done before. Let me clarify that. Not that hasn't been done before. We do understand it's been done before. But just being able to put out that content to you guys and seeing people watch it. We are consistently posting shorts on the channel right now to help get us in the algorithm and get a good audience built out. So if you are not watching the shorts, please make sure you go on the channel. If they're not showing up on your algorithm, watch those shorts. They're really cool. Random current event kind of topics. There's some videos that I know some of the hosts are working on that will be a little bit longer content. I think it's going to be like 2 to 3 minutes of content, but cool little things that you didn't know. And I know that a lot of people are looking for new things to watch and to hear about new things. So definitely check those out for sure, because they're pretty cool. They're pretty interesting.
They are pretty cool. They are. So if you guys are missing out, if you're not watching the shorts, slide over there after this live and go through some of them because they're very interesting. They're current, they're up to date current events. So I enjoy them because I don't get to always keep up with the current events. So I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you. Very, very cool. And make sure you hit
Yeah.
the like on those shorts too, guys.
Yeah, it has been really it's been so interesting because the topics for the shorts are kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So like there's been some about like there was a stock that blew up kind of overnight recently, and just seeing like it was a sneaker company who's decided to now become an AI company,
Yeah.
and they got an investment in their company. As soon as they announced that they were shutting off the sneaker part of their company, not going to happen anymore, and they're turning to AI, their stock went up like it's like eight. Well, I don't know what it's at today, but at the time of that video, it was up like 820% is the return on the
That's
investment.
insanity.
Eh,
Insane.
crazy. And all they did was announce that they're going to be going towards they're going to be a GPU for AI. So again, random topics, there's some celebrity stuff in there. I know Jonesy did one about Gucci Mane getting kidnapped or held hostage or whatever you want to call that. So definitely check those out. We do appreciate you guys watching those. Okay. Well, do we want to play the war? I don't want to play the warning. Honestly, listen, if you're offended by something that's said on this channel, congratulations, join the rest of us because we're all offended at some point. We're not giving out advice. We're not indicting anybody. We're just here. We're just people on the internet giving our opinions about different situations and
Just for
saying what may
entertainment
work for
purposes.
us. Yes, it's for
Entertainment
entertainment
purpose.
purposes. Please do your own research. If you feel like something we said is wrong, great. It probably is. That's okay. We welcome everybody in our chat. Anybody is welcome with any opinion. Sometimes you may not agree with us, and you are welcome to do that. Please refrain from sending out any insults or anything like that. We're having adult conversations, and those do include, adult things. So, yeah, that's our warning. Okay. Period.
Period.
Oh, anyways,
There you go.
I always do that because I know Jonesy can't do it, so she
I can't
tries
do
all
it.
the time. You
I'm not
can?
even gonna try. Forget about it.
You can or cannot?
I cannot.
Oh my gosh. I
I'm
love
gonna
to
have to
hear people.
practice.
I love to hear people who can't do it try and do it
Oh
because they're like,
no.
oh, could.
Maybe next time I'll give it a go.
Okay. I'm gonna have to have all the hosts at some point in time try it out and practice it. So, all right. So today we want to talk about goodness gracious, just lifestyle, relationships, just kind of in those realm of things. I know we wanted to kind of touch on like love languages. Um, do you want to talk about love languages or
We
you
can,
want to
like, I
save
don't know
that?
if anyone, we can save it or for another time, or if someone in the chat's interested in here. I don't even know what people like. I was talking to someone over the weekend and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be doing a thing. We're going to talk about love language, kind of just tell them about the channel, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
love languages. And I'm like, yeah, like there's 5 love languages. And depending on what you and your partner, what you find attractive or what your partner does for you, that is your love language. That's like, what, I really appreciate that. Or, I do this because I know that that is what his love language is for him. And they're like, that sounds like too much like, laws. And I'm like, nah, you're looking at it a little different than what it really actually is.
Yeah,
And there's
it's
some controversy around it. I understand it, but it does work even with children.
yeah. I'm a huge advocate for the love languages. In theory, I think what it does is it shows you how people receive and give their interpretation of how they receive and give love. And
Hmm.
I think that just helps in relationships overall. It can help with friendships, like you said, raising children in a relationship, regardless. I don't think I've ever looked at it as laws. I think it kind of, for me, what it did is like I am not a touchy feely person. I'm not a person who wants to go out and like hug the world. I know, shocker, nobody knows that about me. But I'm not a person who wants to like go out and hug the world, right? But I ended up giving, God has a sense of humor for me. So thanks, Tickety. If Twist was here, they would probably be giving me bear hugs because they always do that in the chat. But I have a child who wants hugs, wanted to hold my hand, wanted me to rub her back, like when she was a little kid. And I was just like, ugh. But I realized very quick that that's how she received and gave love.
Right. Yeah.
And so the love language is her love language, obviously is physical touch. And so for her, giving her a hug, holding her hand or rubbing her back or, like rubbing her hair when she was a little kid, things like that, like those are things that connected with love for her.
Right. And everyone has different ones. I mean, there's 5 of them. And whenever you learn what your partner's love language is, and what if your partner learns what your love language is, then it makes a relationship, in my opinion, go very smoothly. You know, it doesn't.
Mhm.
It's like the act of service. We're like, well, that's just like tricking a person to do stuff for you because that's your love language. You're that. No, that's not true, because it could be something as simple as an act of service. For me is really appreciate, and it almost is like hot to me. My husband always, anytime that we go outside to get into our vehicle, he opens the door. That's an act of service for me. He opens my door
Yeah.
even if we're at the gas station, he opens the door for me, and I find that attractive in him. That is an
Yeah.
attractive quality that he has, and if he'd ever stop doing it, it would hurt my feelings. I'd be like, oh man, is he upset with
Really?
me? Like he forgot to open it. Like it would throw me back. Like I'm like, oh, because that is like something of act of service that he does for me.
Funny story. My husband is not an open the door kind of guy, right? So this past weekend, we went to the store and he got out of the car and I was still sitting in the car. Now normally as soon as we park, like I'm hopping out of the car. Like I'm a fast walker typically, so I'm always the first one out of the car and I don't get out of the car. And so he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm waiting for you to open my door." And he's like, "Get the hell out of the car." But it's not our thing. Like I've
Right,
never
right.
it doesn't do anything for me. So, but I thought it was so funny because he was just like, "Oh hell no." Don't try and pull that now. Ah,
Yeah, that's funny.
um,
My husband is kind of like food, like not fixing a meal. Like if I'm somewhere, I know there's particular kinds of candy that he likes, and that's not sold everywhere. And if I see it, I always pick it up. And I get, and
mm,
you could just see him brighten up. He's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for that." Because, and
aw,
it just, it's like appreciation to me. Like I don't look at it as deep as maybe some people do, or maybe it's just so simple for us to recognize it. It's not that heavy, but it's simple
yeah.
things, and that make, even after so many years of marriage, I think people get lost in their marriage. They get comfortable in their marriage, and they forget why they even find the person attractive. And to me, there are 4 levels in a marriage to even get to a
Oh.
marriage. Yeah, there's 4 levels in a marriage. You know,
Oh, okay. Wait, before we get into the levels, because I have questions, I'm so curious to hear that. I wanted to say one thing about love languages, and that is imagine if you didn't know your love languages, right? You're
hmm
in a relationship. If my
hmm
love language is quality time and my spouse's is active service, here he is up doing the dishes or
hmm
out at the store grabbing me a candy bar. But really what I want is him to sit down and watch a movie with me. So knowing those love languages helps because every person is different and everybody receives and gives that love differently. And so love languages for me has helped to learn what does this person really need from me to
hmm
know that I care about them or do I love them. And for me, like my love language is quality time. So if you don't spend time with me, you don't love me. That's just how it is. You just don't love me. And it doesn't mean you have to spend all the time with me, but if you can't spend that quality time with me, then that is 100% like that's what it equals for me. I don't feel that love. So I think that's one of the ways that like love languages can absolutely be im- apply to an everyday life, both with your kids and in relationships, or
Yeah,
even in friendships.
and in friendships too. And because I'll
Yeah.
tell you, in my little group of friends that I have from the internet, we were doing sourdough making bread. Okay. Well, I didn't know the steps to making the sourdough bread from like you get the little uh,
Starters.
starters that come in the mail. Well, I had the bread pan that I normally use to make bread, but it wasn't the bread pan that I needed. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go get this oven. I got to go get this thing. I didn't know. So they actually bought the things and had it sent to me like immediately. I love
Mm.
gifts. And that was my thing. I was like, oh my God, that was so sweet of them. But they did it, and it's like that's my love language from my friends. I like little trinkets, I guess. Okay. I like little trinkets. I got a little sign, and it made me feel like they see me, they value me, and I like that. Okay.
Oh, that's
And it was,
awesome.
so I'm like, yeah, my friends, I like little, doesn't have to be expensive gifts, you know, for my
Yeah.
friends, just
It's the thought.
something.
Like people say
Yeah.
it's the thought that counts, but it really is like it's the fact that you took time. We're all busy. We all have a gang of stuff going on in our lives at all times, depending on what stage in life you're at. Some people may have young children, and that takes a lot of time from their day, and they're exhausted at the end of the day. So sometimes those people taking that moment to think about you or to care about you or to reach out to you, like that means volumes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the intention, like Zen said, intention
Teacher.
matters, And
Yeah.
Tater's good to see you. And we didn't say hi to the chat. So, hey, we see
Hi
you. How are
guys.
you doing?
I see Texas Girl and Rockabit and Twist and Beezer and that girl and Tater and Zen, Tickety. There's a bunch of people. MJ's here. Jones was here. Hope Secco is here. So good to see you guys. I will tell you, my friend Amethyst, she's on a journey of learning how to do sourdough bread too.
Oh, it's a whole thing. Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a whole thing.
Yep.
It
Yep.
literally is a whole thing. Like I'm still doing, I have to do, you have to feed it, you have to do all the stuff, right? And the
Yeah.
first time, let her know the first time if it doesn't turn out exactly, it's not supposed to. It's just not
Yeah.
supposed to. Okay. It's not supposed to turn out.
Look at
That we don't know.
so Kelly said, I hate that we don't have this wisdom until we're much older and got a divorce or two under our belts.
Right.
Kelly, I strongly agree with that. I think like for me, my kids know about love languages and they've learned about their own. There is a love language book, and this is not promoted. They're not our sponsors, nothing like that. I know it worked for me, and maybe it would work for you too. But they do have one also for kids to learn about as well. Hello, Evil Ghost. Good to see you.
Good to see you, evil ghost. So yeah, so I
So
think that
sourdough then is going much better than crocheting did.
oh no, I can crochet, girl. I learned. I am girl. Let me tell you.
What?
Yes, I did a private stream with some of my members, and I'm like, listen, here's what's gonna happen today. We are not leaving this stream until I can crow and shay shay. Okay. We sat there and
Girl.
I am a crow and a shay shayer now. Okay. Let me tell you, I have a 6, 7 foot long blanket going right now because I feel like if I get this
Wow.
done, I can make any baby blanket my daughter when the time comes because I'm hoping, for grandkid. I can crow and shay anything in a lickety split if I get this blanket done. Okay. Oh, yes.
Interesting.
I am very persistent person. If I say I'm going to get this, honey, I do not stop. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
Good for you, because you were out here
It was a
talking
hot
about
mess, honey.
yeah, you were talking about crocheting. Like I was just like, wait a second, what is happening right now?
Oh, it looked like a
That's
hot mess, but
awesome.
now, baby, it looks perfect.
Tater
Yeah.
said she's convinced that her husband's love language is aggravating her.
Oh, okay, listen, let me tell you, when you have an aggravating husband, there's ways to get to that aggravating husband, honey. You got to slow it down with them. But we could talk about that later because it is only 11:51 a.m.
I
Okay. And we're here over here talking about
know.
hot oils and candlelights and R. Kelly and shit.
Oh. Oh no. Joseph said food is her love language. I know that's right. Okay, let's talk about, you feel like there's 4 levels to marriage. What are
There
those levels?
is, I think that is communication. There is well, communication is huge. There is commitment, there is romance and consistency. If you cannot meet
Okay.
those on a and be committed to meeting those, commitment is huge. You have to be committed to your partner to meet them on the communication, on the romance level, okay, on the intimacy level, okay, even if what it looks like to a woman at the time, because I know that a lot of relationships struggle when it becomes to the in intimacy. Women get older, they go through menopause, they don't have the drive, the desire, or they are not good with their body. All right, there are things that we as women and men can do together that makes us okay to have intimate times. And intimate doesn't always mean sex.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so, but if you're not having, that's where marriages, in my opinion, fall apart. Is they're not hitting all those 4 levels, and it increases. First, there has to be communication. Then you have to be attractive to your partner, which is the intimate part, right? If you don't move up the ladder with this, then you're gonna fail at your marriage. And then you start back over. Are we communicating? Do I find him attractive? Okay, so you have to. It's just like a rotating ladder, and you have to go through them all the time, because if you don't, that's where marriage breaks down.
Interesting. Okay, I don't disagree. Um, I thought you meant it a little bit differently. So yours is like 4 levels that continually go through of like characteristics you need, like things you need to be practicing at all times. I
Yeah.
love that. I thought it was going to be like there's a lot of people always talk about like the 7-year itch, right?
Hmm.
And to me, I don't necessarily believe in the 7-year itch, but I do believe that there comes a time where, like, if you have small children, you get so used to, like, one of the things that I'm beyond grateful for in my marriage is that we are friends first, right?
Right.
So even when I can't stand him as my husband, I still, if I'm having a bad day, I'm still going to text because he's my friend, right?
Right.
So, um, one of the things that we have always kind of, I guess, have kind of implemented it is because of that friendship is that like we didn't want our kids to turn 18 and go out in life and now we don't even know who each other are. We didn't want to be disconnected in that way.
Right. Yeah.
So we were really intentional very early on, but I do know that there was a time where like we had 4 kids, and at one point in time we had 3 kids under the age of 4 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So we had a lot going on at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so it was very hard. Like you were so focused on cleaning, going to work, cooking, cleaning some more, taking care of the kids, trying to raise these kids, changing diapers, all of these kind of things that you don't have time, like to take that time and invest it in the relationship. It becomes very easy to become roommates at that point. And I think that's where, like, when people are talking about that 7-year itch, I think it's more so that they become like roommates in a home because they're not connected to each other.
But
So
that's,
my question to you would be,
mhm.
which level would that kind of like, what level would help get to the different
Well,
space with
that's the
that?
thing. That's why whenever I guess because, I got married older, right? Like I was in my 30s. So, and there are people getting married in their 30s now. I mean, I think it's kind of been
Yeah.
an age shift to,
Yeah.
having
Agreed.
okay, and I get it. Um, but you have to go ahead and have a foundation of when we get to this point of not communicating and we feel like roommates, there should already, you have to prepare yourself to not get there. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You have to stop and say, okay, now I'm feeling weird here. And people are so afraid to have hard conversations with their spouse. They're so afraid to say, you know what, I'm not feeling it. You find me
Yeah.
attractive anymore. You're not taking 5 minutes. is really a long time in the day. If you sit in time 5 minutes, if your partner would sit down with you and just say, hey, no, look at me. How are you today? Like, I want to let you know that I love you. I appreciate you. We're moving fast, but you are the shit. And I'll get with you tonight, honey. Try it. Okay. I'll see you tonight, baby. I see you at 9 o'clock, honey. Okay. Them kids are in bed, baby. Baby, I got that oil ready for you for a massage. And nothing, because a lot of, it's always sex. No, it's not. It's about taking 5 minutes. Make sure that anyone that's in a relationship now that's just been married, make sure that you have a plan if you see things going south, like we feel like roommates. Stop and say, come and look at me eye to eye and be like, listen, I love you. I value you. You're still the sexiest son of a bitch I've ever met. Okay. That ass is hitting in the Hanes underwear. Like, damn, baby. Okay. Even if you don't mean it at that time, say it. Okay. Because it'll pay off at 9 o'clock tonight whenever you want a back massage. Okay.
Yeah, and even for the guys, honey, I love you. I appreciate everything you do around
Yes.
here and the contributions
Absolutely.
you have to our household. I think you're
Hmm.
the sexiest thing in period panties that ever existed.
Absolutely. The men have got to do the same. It's just not for the woman. Okay. The men have
Yeah,
got to do the same thing. And I think that if we stop in our fast-paced lives and slow down, because let me tell you, there are 8 billion people in this world. We chose one of them
yeah,
to listen to us pee, sear us in our period underwear, have them have sex with us, the most intimate thing. We've chose that one person, and we can't take out 5 minutes every day and say, I value the hell out of you. I don't like you maybe right in this very moment, but I value you. We've chose that one person out of 8 billion, and we can't slow it down for that one person, or we can't slow it down for ourselves. Okay, we
yeah,
can't slow it down because at the end of the day, it's really ourself who we're thinking about when we slow down our relationship and get grounded, back grounded, because we were put on this earth to take care of us. We have one human body. And if we don't slow it down to take care of us, to look after us first, and I'm not saying that in a greedy way, I'm saying that on an emotional way, a physical
hmm
way, a spiritual way, then we're not going to be good with our children or our relationships.
yeah. One of the things that we did again because our life was so busy at that time is every single night, we pretty much would end up in bed at the same times for the most part because we work kind of the same schedules. And so every time we got in bed, turned off the lights, one of the first things we would do is kind of talk about the day, talk about something that frustrated. And we were talking about it in the darkness. So it kind of offered like you don't see that person's face, you don't see them rolling their eyes, you don't see all these different things, but what it did is allowed us to connect to being able to talk about the really tough things that needed to be talked about. And sometimes it's just, there wasn't bad things. So it would just be like, did you hear what that kid said today? And we would laugh
Right.
about it together. And it would just, sometimes it was 5 minutes and sometimes it turned into an hour conversation, just depending on the day or how tired we were, what was going on. But just that 5 minutes of connecting, we still to this day, like we've been together almost 27 years now, to this day, every single night we make that connection. And
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like when I'm gone traveling for work, every night, like we're on the phone before we go to bed to have that conversation. It's being, like you said, it's that committed and that consistency.
Yep.
It's being committed to, I don't want to lose this connection. And when
Right.
that connection is gone, it's very hard to get it back. It's not impossible, but it is
Because
very
can you
hard.
imagine though, like whenever people, if you cannot fix what's going on with yourself, how do you expect someone else to fix you? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that, I mean, just imagine if you think about those words. So, or fix the other person in the relationship, like they're not committing to me. I'm going to fix it. No, you have to come together and you have to have the conversation, because you know how hard it is to stop something that we're doing in our life. Like, say, I constantly tap a pen all day long and it annoys me, right? That's a habit I have. I'm going to stop it. Okay. So if I can't fix that, then how am I going to fix something else in someone else? It's very
Yeah.
hard. You have to
Yeah.
communicate it. You have to talk it out. And it's practice. But
Yeah. Just to read some comments, Trooper and Iris's mom said there should be an age like 21 to get married. I knew everything at 17. By 24, I was
yes,
divorced with 4 kids, 38 years single now. Now, being single for 38 years is probably a life I could not personally live. I'm too needy, but I feel I knew everything at 17.
absolutely. We all knew everything at 17. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good afternoon, Gigi. Tess Max said, my grandma used to say, whenever you're in an argument, you need to have physical touch while you discuss things. Hold hands, sit on his lap. It makes it a lot harder to fight when doing that.
Absolutely.
I have never thought of or done that, and that's so good. I had a lady at my funeral,
At
at
your
my wedding. What a Freudian slip. I had a lady at my wedding. We had these little cards that people could do, and we put it in a scrapbook of like advice you would give for the couple,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And one of the ladies said, every time you want to make a decision that is a major decision, wait 2 weeks.
hmm
And I went to the lady and I was like, why does it, like, what's the significance of 2 weeks? Like, what does that mean? When I looked at it, and she said, because odds are after 2 weeks, your emotions have calmed down and you're looking at things a little bit more rationally. So
Yeah.
before you make major decisions, if you're waiting that 2 weeks and you still feel the same exact way 2 weeks later, odds are it's not your emotions, it's your rationale taking over, and you're not making an emotional split impulsive decision in the moment. I was like,
Right.
oh, I liked that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That girl said she's lucky because even sick and useless, she's not useless, but whatever. Even sick and useless, my husband does these things for me. So that's really cool. Hold on, I'm trying to get back down. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the comments. I typically don't bring up something unless it's bothered me for at least 3 days. An older lady said that if I forget it in 3 days, then it's not worth the breath. That's a really good one. That's a good one. Look
Depending on
at
what it is, though, depending on what it is. For me, like I see that I could do that. Yeah, like if it's something, I don't know if I could wait 3 days, depending on what it was. Look at Jonesing over here.
I know that. Wait, that girl said, I'd be like, don't touch me. And Joseph said, oh, that's interesting. So when I go to touching Tony while we're fighting, when he tells me to get my dirty hands off of him, I'm blaming y'all. And you have to be able to accept criticism and make an effort to not do what irritates your significant other when going on for 25 years. Listen, the
Absolutely.
hardest thing to me is when you have a very intimate relationship with somebody, you end up knowing like their insecurities and what will hurt them. One of the things I needed anger management when I was a lot younger. I'm not so much now. That's probably what's gotten me to today. But when I was younger, one of the hardest things I found is when we would fight and I was hurting, I wanted to throw those things out. I never did, but I wanted holding that back. I was just like, man, I don't know. That's probably one of the largest challenges I would say is not using what you know could hurt that person against
Yeah.
them because you love them, even in the moments when you yourself are hurting.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people scar their relationship by saying
The
vulgar
thing.
things to their
Yeah.
significant other. It's kind of like once you throw a rock, you can't unthrow it. Okay, it's
Yeah.
already there. And to me, you have to, that is huge for me. I would never call my husband a dirty name. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never have, because to me, that's degrading. And I would never want him to feel degraded in our
Yeah.
relationship. I look at him as the head of my household, and a lot of people don't believe in that still. So why would I go to the head of my household that controls our finances to make us financially stable and call him a da 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 da? That's degrading.
Yeah.
And I've gave him too much responsibility. Everyone has a bad day, and today could be that bad day. So I want to call him a dirty name. Oh, how disrespectful is that? It's so disgusting. I would never do that to him. Now,
Yeah.
have I wanted to?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I walk away and I'm like underneath my breath. Oh, right. But I would never want to hurt my husband, and it would hurt my husband in his heart if I would call him dirty names like that.
Yeah.
Anything.
PC said the best advice is shove it all down, way down deep, so deep it disappears. And I'm totally making this up.
I was
I was
like,
like, yeah, that
what?
sounds really healthy, Pixie. Very
Yeah.
healthy.
No, no, no. You cannot shove it
Uh,
down because at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself too. You're two people that need to be met emotionally, physically, all of all of the things,
Spiritually,
spiritually,
financially, all of the things. Yeah.
all of the things. And if you're not being met, all those things, then you need to sit back and reevaluate and see how you can get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Gigi said, pick your battles. I say, pick your battles before you choose war. That's my little saying that I tell my kids. Marlena said, for Valentine's, I customized a song for my man. It was about the day we met up until today and made him cry. I know that's
Aw,
right.
aw. And I think that a lot of times love stories, people being in love are not talked about enough. It's not, people want to talk about how bad their relationship is there and all of that. It's not popular to talk about. I really love my husband. We have a
Sometimes.
great marriage. It's not talked about a lot. It's always, and not to say that it's not important to talk about, but we hear a lot about people that are unhappy in their marriages more
Yeah.
than what we hear about celebrating people that have went through it thick and thin, figured it out, and stuck it
Yeah.
out. And those people need to be celebrated, you know?
When I one of the thing it I bother me is probably the wrong word for it. I don't know the right word for it. It just like makes me side eye things, I guess, in the world today kind of a thing. But like when people will hear that like I've been together with my husband for so long, and the fact that we were so young when we first got together. I was 20 years old when I met him. But, because we were so young and we kind of have grown up together, that's not always the case, because typically when people grow, they grow apart, right?
Right.
And so when people hear how long we've been together, like, oh my gosh, congratulations, how have you done that? And for me, I'm like, I hate that there's this impossible, like, this doesn't happen. But I know so many people who have been together, if not the same amount of time as me, longer with their spouses. And I'm like it is everywhere. You just hear so much about divorce that you don't get to hear about the celebration that is like. And again, not that marriage is for everybody. Some
Right.
people have no desire to be married. Some
Absolutely.
people can't get married. Some people want to marry a person that culturally they're not allowed to marry. Like there's so many
Right.
different nuances that go into it. So I'm not discounting those at all. But for those who want it and who live it, like I think it should be
Because it
celebrated for
does take
sure.
work and it needs to be celebrated. And I think
Yeah.
people that do have long-term marriages that are successful, they get overlooked because it's not a big situation,
Yeah.
and that's unfortunate. I think knowing what the other needs is imperative. I like space to think a problem through, and Luke
And
likes
Luke
to
likes to
talk it out.
talk it out. So
Hmm.
navigating that is important to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, are you like that? I'm curious, because I think there's always that balance in relationships. Me, I want to talk about it right here, right now. And Leroy is more like, hey, let's calm down first and then we'll talk about it.
I may step back for a moment and think about it. And it doesn't have to be a long time, maybe through the evening. Then I'll be like, okay, let's come back and let's talk about this now. And, so it's not days, but no, I'm not a one that just hit it. I got to think about it. But I've always kind of been like that. I had to stop and evaluate the situation, the pros, the cons. What can happen if we go this to the left? Do we need to zig or zag? So,
Yeah.
and not that we always follow what I have to say. My husband has an opinion. I'm like, well, what do I think about it? And he'll listen to what I think about it. He'll tell me what he thinks about whatever it is. And I'll be like, okay, which way do we need to move here? Which way do we need to go with the situation? And I don't always get my way. Okay. There's a lot of compromise.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, the way you feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's levels for marriages,
Mm-hmm.
I have always defined friendships in levels.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like but a little bit different, not the levels that it like rotates through. Mine is more like I do believe that you can be friends with somebody and it's just a very surface hello goodbye kind of friendship. But I do believe you can be friends with somebody else and it is a deep you can tell like you could tell them your deepest darkest secrets and it's staying right there. But like
Right.
there's different types of friendships. Like there are some friends that like they need to call before they come to my house because I
Right.
need to have it in order and I need to have everything good. But there's other friends who I could invite to my home and they would just push the laundry to the side on the couch so they could have a
Right.
seat.
Right.
Do you think that same thing?
I do. I have what I call surface level friends. Okay, like
Okay.
they're just surface level, right? I see them on a regular basis. We are normally our husbands are friends. They're like the husbands are friends.
Okay.
And the wives and we are acquaintances, but they're surface level. Those are the people that I have to make sure that I have fresh lemonade. I have all the drinks, like it's more like
You're in hostess mode.
I'm in hostess mode because we
Okay.
talk surface level stuff. All right. And then I have very few friends that are very close to me that I tell them everything about me. And I find that to be even more now that I become someone that talks on YouTube. I find myself to even shrink that more because what if, what if they run into Nunya
Yep.
somewhere and tell her, well, let me tell you what her and her husband did. They wrecked their boat over the weekend. Could
Yep.
you imagine that happening? Let me show you the pictures. You know what I mean? So I've noticed myself even getting smaller with people that I associate on a friendship intimate level. But yeah, I totally feel it. But I'm a needy friend. I suck as a friend. I'm a terrible friend.
It's interesting because we had this conversation, I think, last week. You're a needy friend, but you also are a sucky friend.
Yes. Yes.
I am completely a needy friend. Like, if you are my friend, like inner circle, I don't like that wording of it, but like if you are the closest of the closest, oh, I'm needy as hell. And I've said, like, I'm very open and honest when I first when I feel like you're getting to that level of friendship with me, I'm open and honest about it. Listen, if it's been 2 days and I have not heard your voice, I don't care if it's a simple voice clip that you send to my cell phone that says, hey, here's my voice. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Right.
satisfied. I
Yeah.
know I'm a needy ass friend.
Now I suck at returning text. Oh, I suck at returning text calls or calls. Like I mean to, but I don't do it. Like if someone texts me, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll text them back in a second. I don't reach out first unless I need something like a question. It's never like something tangible. It's usually a question about something or opinion about something or hey, did you see that? Like, okay, but besides that, I don't call and say, how are you today, Puddin? Like, no, I'm not that type of friend. Like, that's too much for me. I don't know why. I wish maybe that's something I need to start to do in my life because I don't ever call and say, how are you? Like, are you
Huh.
good? I don't. And
Okay.
that's terrible.
Beezer, I absolutely would not say you have an unbiased opinion of Lady K as a great friend. I think you'd be pretty biased. I think that most people would say that. Hey, Linz. Hey, Madison, I see you come in
But
too.
I've been
Jacoba's
working
here.
on it. I've been working on it because I'm like, okay, let me text it right. If I put the phone down and say I'll text in a little bit, oh, it will not get done. I'll forget. I'm terrible.
Okay, so you don't ever randomly, and maybe it's me. Like maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe I'm broken in that way. I don't really know. Thank God I have friends who understand who I am and my neediness, and so they just make the recording, and it's all good. Like they don't seem to mind so far. But I'm curious. So you don't ever like, let's say you're doing the dishes, right?
Hmm.
And let's say I'm going to use Beezer as an example because I know you guys are friends. And so you're sitting there thinking like, oh man, I haven't heard from Beezer for a couple of days. Let me check on her, and go and check on her.
Yeah, I do because it did happen actually, and it was with her.
Okay.
We hadn't heard, well, me and another person hadn't heard from her, I think maybe like 24 hours. And that was kind of odd. Okay, normally we text something, right? Like good morning, something. And I was like, so I text the other person. I'm like, have you heard from Bees? And I don't remember the situation. Um, I knew she was doing something. And so they're like, no, matter of fact, I haven't. I'm like, so we sent in a group text that we were demanding proof of life in like so many hours, right? And she did. She was just busy. But for me, and I'll tell you why I don't do it, because I feel like I people live very busy lives and I don't want to intrude on their space. And because
Mm,
I, for one, and there was a point in my life that I'll tell you what happened. So I worked in a corporate environment, very fast paced. My mother, my own mother, called me at 9 o'clock in the morning, talking to me about effing chili, about May for the weekend, the next weekend, right? I'm like, this 9 o'clock in the morning is one of my busiest times in my job. Like phones are ringing, people are coming. Like I have so much on my plate at 9 o'clock in the morning. My mother decides to. It's a great time to call me on a Monday about a Saturday situation at 9 in the morning about chili. So I made it a definite line with my friends and my family. Listen, do not call me unless you're freaking dead before 7 o'clock at night. I've kind of because I just didn't have time. Don't tell me about your stupid chili in the crock pot at 9 in the morning on Saturday. Like I don't care. Like I'm busy, and I think that's I'm trained my mind to not focus on other people, but what I was doing in my career, and it's hard for me to snap myself out of that mode because
out of
I'm
it.
not. Like I should check on my friends. I really should, but I
But my
don't.
like for me, the friends that I have that may have small children, or like my sisters and I are very close. The fact that they have small children, I know that they're tired at the end of the day. I know that their weekends are full, things like that, right? So there is a difference. Like I think I give a lot of grace in that situation. But my
Mhm.
friends who kids are grown and like they're babysitting their grandsons and can send proof of life videos, oh, I
Mhm.
still request that. Yeah. So I just want to read some comments. Now, this one will absolutely blows my mind every time I hear it. Tater says, I have best friends that I don't talk to for months.
Mm. But are they
Again,
your
just
best
my
friend
life. I'm
though?
not saying anybody else. To me, I could never consider that person a best friend. How are
You
you my
know,
best friend and you don't know the goings on in my life if I don't talk to you for months at a time? That's a unique dynamic. I hear it all the time. I don't understand it.
that's the thing. I'm going to tell
Probably
you
because I'm
something.
needy.
I'll tell you something a little personal. I have what I would consider, I used to consider a best friend, and I knew her from elementary school all the way through high school. It was me, this girl, and another girl. It was three of us that hung out thick and thin, right, all the way up to our in our mid 20s. And then I moved away and they stayed in the same area. And I just kind of, I moved away. And they still call us all best friends, but I don't know a damn thing about them. They could call me today and I do accept their calls. Like I'll stop what I'm doing to pick up that phone call from those two particular people. But
Okay.
they tell me things I really don't have a clue what they're talking about because we don't communicate. I'm like, what are you? Oh, you had a kid? Oh, you had another grandkid? How old's the grandkid? Yeah, he's 10. I'm like, 10 years ago. Like,
My God, that's terrible.
but they still want to say that we're best friends. To me, honey, that's not a best friend, right? No, we're
No.
friend. I would
Mm-mm.
say we're lifelong
We're friends.
friends.
Yeah, we're lifetime friends.
right?
Yep. I would totally claim that. So Dee says, I go through phases where I fail at being a friend. Thankfully, I pick friends that understand that. That girl says she sends the nosy, where are you? After a couple of days. I feel
Okay.
that. Now, Lindsay has a different take. Lindsay says, I like to look in the windows of all my friends while they are sleeping just to make sure they're solid. She's so
Liz,
crazy.
where do you live? I'm gonna be your friend and be like, well, this is what you said to have to do. I'm because I like, you
Right,
know what?
right. I got to
I
look through
like
your
to drive
windows
around
now.
them, but I have to admit, I'm gonna confess something. I really like driving around on a golf cart at the nighttime when people have their lights on, so I can look in their houses.
Oh my God. Oh
I
Lord.
don't like go up to their house. I just drive down the road, but it has to be at night because I
And
want to know
see
what's
it.
in their house. They have their lights on. You can look right in the windows. So I'm guilty, I guess, but they're not my friends. I'm just nosy.
So Rockabit said she's a worry wart if she doesn't hear from her friends. So she starts to worry about them if she doesn't hear from them.
See, I'm not crazy. Deets likes to do it too.
I still have her birthday gift from October riding around in my car. Indy has a best friend she doesn't speak to that much either. She has her friend's birthday gift from October riding around in the car because y'all aren't best friends. Stop it.
No,
Stop it.
no, we're
You're
not
not
best
best
friends.
friends, Indy. You're lifetime friends for sure. I'll give you that.
Oh my god, that's why I'm like, they
Define
always like,
best friends. Ooh, that's a good
oh,
one. I, for
mm,
me, my best friend, like for me to say, like, oh, that's my bestie, it means when I'm having a bad day, they're the person I call. Outside of my spouse, mind you, they're the person that I call. If something goes on that affects me emotionally in any way, whether it be frustrating, sadness, anything like that, they're the person who I call to find comfort, solace, a ride at dawn, whatever the case may be. That's a
mm,
best friend to me. And there's no
mm.
judgment there. So you can just give it to them straight and raw, and they're not going to be like, oh my God, who is that? Why are you talking like that? They just say it.
Mm. Then I don't think I really have best friends. I have good friends, but I have like, okay, so can family be best friends? Like I have a family member that's like a best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. My sisters are two of my closest friends. Absolutely. Look, Jonesy said, me and Tony decided to completely unplug from everything one day, all internet. I forgot to let Nunya and Deets know. Nunya was not happy with me. Absolutely. And they know. Like Deets just went on vacation, right? She let me know ahead of time. I'm gonna be on vacation. I know to prepare myself to not hear from her. So when she
Right.
pops in randomly, I'm like, oh yay, what a surprise. How wonderful, right? But I don't go looking for her, ask for proof of life during those times because I know that, she's on vacation. I don't know, just schedule it. You're good.
Like I think that
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I think that I have um become close to a couple of ladies that, are, I don't know if they're my best friends, but I'm close friends with them right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I trust them. Like they know things. Like they know things. Okay,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like are you too old for best friends? Or do you just say like that's that's my girl right there. You know what I mean? Like that. We're cool. Like that's my friend. Like I guess maybe that's my thing. I don't know
Do
if
you feel
I
too old for to say like,
oh,
oh, Beezer's my
that's my
bestie?
best friend. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I look at best friend, the word best friend is something for someone younger. Because for me to say you are my friend means a lot to me. Like I said, I have surface level friends. Okay. But for
Huh.
me to come out here and say, you are my friend, then you're like a ride or die for me. So best friend is thinking that I'm like, best friend's a weird name for me. Maybe I don't like the
Huh.
name.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe it's just the name of it. Like besties is very like we're in high school at the Mean Girls table.
Yeah.
It kind of gives that vibe, but to me, it like signify. I don't know. Maybe like putting that label on it. It's like the guy and girl who have been dating, but he never posts her on on his social media. So
Yeah.
nobody in the world really knows if they're actually dating, but like he has every excuse not to do it, you know?
Hmm.
Like that's kind of what it is. Like when it's like, oh, that's my bestie, like it's like signifying like this person is on a different level. We're not just friends.
But if you think
I
about
don't
it
know.
this way, we
It
need
really is
best
sounding kind
friends.
of weird when I'm saying it out loud. I just want you guys to know
Yeah.
that. I'm feeling like it's very weird right now. Out loud, it sounds very odd.
But
Okay? And
we
a little
need some
creepy.
best friends, though, actually, as we get older, because just hypothetically speaking, whenever we get older in our life and just say that we outlive our spouse, we're going to need a best friend to give
Yeah.
us a call every day, Nunya. So, what you're doing with your friends is good practice for when you get old. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
because how do you know if someone has passed away or not? To contact the family. Okay.
Oh, we've already planned out Jones's funeral, so we already know that. And we also have contact with each other's families, so there's some way we can get in contact if somebody passes away. But yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's how the original conversation. There are levels to friendships for sure. I definitely agree with that. There are a lot of people here who I would say they are my friends, but their friendship level is a little bit lower than other friends, right? But that comes from like I wouldn't call certain people. I wouldn't call and just tell them like me and my husband had this argument today, or I
Right.
wouldn't call them and tell them like my fucking kid did this, like oh I just want to strangle the kid, you know? Like I wouldn't call those people and say that because although they are my friend, they're my online friend. I love the fact that some people call them, you know, your friends in your phone.
Yeah,
It
I consider
signifies
Nunya
there's a
as a friend in
distance
my phone.
between us.
Like me and Nunya, there is a difference between me and Nunya.
Yeah,
Is she's my friend in my phone. She would never call me and say, "Oh, I can't believe my kid just put the
yeah,
macaroni and cheese in the microwave and blew it up." She wouldn't say stuff like that. Now, would it maybe come up in conversation because I call her and ask her for, "Hey, do you know about this?" Da, da, da. She was like, "Hey, God, I got an emergency in the microwave." She could do that, but would she call me? Or would I call her and tell her a personal situation? No, that's not the relationship we have. We have a friend in our phone type of relationship. And I'm good with that.
yeah.
I mean, I'm good. I don't feel out of place. I don't feel like I'm not wanted. I don't have any like, oh man, I'm not good enough to be Nunya's friend. That's just our friendship. Like that, and I'm cool
Yeah.
because let me tell you, that gets me off the hook because I don't have to make I'm alive videos every day.
Yeah. You know, you do not have you right now currently there's only 3 people that are my, you know, on the internet friends. There's only 3 people who have to do proof of life videos after a couple of days of saying nothing.
Mhm.
But outside of those 3 people, if the rest of you went missing for weeks, I probably would notice. But
Mhm.
like even then, I probably would just reach out and say, "Hey, you good?
Right.
Like I noticed I haven't
Right.
seen you around.
But
Everything okay?
I don't think
Hey,
there's
laundry."
anything bad with that. I don't think there's anything bad with having friends in your phone that you
No.
don't associate with on a daily basis. It may be every 2 weeks. It may just to be communicated about like a project like this, but there's a respect there. There is if now I'm going to say if somebody in my phone would call me and say, "Hey, I'm in a situation. I need to talk to you. I'm by myself. I'm struggling here." I would
Yeah.
absolutely be there and the
Yeah.
conversation wouldn't go any further. But I think that is different because there is communication there. But yeah, I have a hard time with the best friend word because
Huh.
I think that's it. Because I do have a couple of close friends that I do. They know a lot about me. They know a lot about my life, and they're
Uh-huh.
friends. They're from friends in my phone. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, Allie. Hey, Mystery. Hey, Laundry. Good to see you guys. Hey, Hells. I see you came in as well. Um, one of the things I did want to talk about. What time are we at? How long have we been going? Okay, we have time. One of the things I wanted to talk about that had to do a little bit with friendship too is I wondered if you guys think is it easier to connect with people online or in real life? Like, which one would
Mm.
you say it's easier to connect with? I'm curious to see what people said because I have a theory, but I'm curious to see. Which one would you say, Lady K?
I think I can connect. It depends on the environment. So it depends on the situation that I'm in. If depending on like I can communicate online with people. Um, but I think that I'm more conservative on what I say online, actually. Like if I'm in a chat, like say that
Oh,
I'm going to watch you, say that you're live right now and I'm in your chat. I'm going to be more conservative what I say in your chat than what I do on my own platform or in my own home. I'm going to, because I want to be respectful to you and the people that are also communicating in that chat. I find myself to be more conservative. In my real life, um, I can have hard conversations face to face better than I can online because, and I'll tell you why, because of people ganging up on you. Like say 16 people agree with that one person and I'm standing out here alone, they're all going to attack my thought process. Now in real life, I can hit you on face to face better than I can in line in chat.
okay. Okay, yeah. I'm actually surprised because a lot of the people here say it's easier for them to connect in real life with people more so
Mm,
than it is for them to connect online. And I
me
was for
too.
sure that everybody was going to say it was easier to connect online. Interesting. The reason why I say that is we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and it was very interesting to see that studies actually have shown that it is easier for people to connect with people online versus in real life because they can pause when they're when they're having any kind of emotion. You can leave a conversation and come back versus being in person. You kind of can't do that in relationships
Hmm.
or in friendships. um that there is just this disconnect. There's a lot less judgment because you're taking kind of the physical aspects away from things because you're not seeing people talk or seeing what they look like or whatever the case, and you're not feeling judged in that.
Right.
So it was actually saying that people prefer to connect online more than they do in person, and it was interesting to me.
I like what Deets says, and that's me, Deets. It says it takes a lot longer for me to trust someone online. That's exactly my point. Because whenever you meet somebody in real life, people tend to give you what they want you to hear online. Now, if you
Yeah,
meet them in real life, you know where do they live, what kind of car they drive, what they look like, how they dress, are they clean, are they dirty? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that tells me a lot. And that could be me judging someone. And okay, but if how someone carries themselves in a real life in public tells me what I need to know about you. First impressions, you know that saying, right? First
yeah.
impressions. So online, I can tell you that I'm the Queen of Egypt. Well, and my name is Queen of Egypt, and I'm a royal, right? And I
True.
use the language of it and do all of the things. Then I can make you believe she might just be a royal. She could be. Who says she's not? Right?
Mm,
So that's mine. I do not trust what people tell me online. I really don't. I take it like a grain of
really.
salt, and that's bad because they could be telling me the 100% truth. But I think it also may be from our experience online.
Yeah, I think we're probably. I think people come online, and this is social media in general, not just YouTube or what a community may come from. But I think people come to social media, and that very first experience that happens that kind of breaks that trust and makes you see that like people aren't exactly who you think they are.
Mhm.
Once that situation happens, you're like, whoa, hey. So I feel like then your guard is up and you're like, wait a second now, I'm questioning everybody all the time everywhere. um but and I get it, I completely get it. I i think I find people to be more themselves online than they are
Really?
in real life, but I'm also not a people person, so that makes a big difference. um I don't know, I think people are faker in real life. than they are online.
Really?
And again, you may think fake as in, I'm claiming to be the queen of England, right? Or wherever. I understand that part. Like obviously there's some of that fakeness, but fake in who they really, really are. Like to their core, I feel like people are more two-faced in real life than they are online.
Yeah. I don't
But I'm
know.
also selective on who I fuck with.
Right. Yeah. So
So that
for
makes a
me,
difference too.
I put myself in environments in my real life, but I find myself in odd places online. I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like I need to get out of here. This isn't what I thought it was. Okay, so that's easier to remove myself. But I choose in my real life where I go. And then normally where you go and where you hang out is people are going to go there that you have things in common. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um it's easier for me in real life. But I think, like I said, it has to be
Mm,
based on my experience online, because a lot of things that
yeah.
I've run into online thus far has been a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, at least Gigi's with me. Shout out to Gigi in the chat. I appreciate you not leaving me alone in this. Because everybody else is like, nah, these bitches
Right.
online are fake as hell. I don't know what
Right.
you're talking about, Nunya.
Said a good friend will sit in the rain at Olive Garden for hours and laugh with you. If you find one of them, count your. Absolutely. Yes. Me and
There you
Beezer sat
go.
in there. We met at an Olive Garden. It was a lovely lunch. And there were so many
Oh, I didn't know
things that,
that's who you met. I mean, you
yeah,
had mentioned meeting somebody, but
yeah.
I didn't know that's who you met. That's
And we
cool.
sat in the rain laughing. My husband was holding the umbrella for us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and we
Yeah.
had
I
a
had
great
Joneson running
time.
all around
And
town trying to take photos all around Atlanta when we all met up, and she was embarrassed as hell. So I agree with that for sure.
so,
I
I mean,
said when
I
I
have
came
met
in,
some good people, but it's hard, but I have to let them in. And that's the thing. I don't know if everybody wants to put themselves being vulnerable out online. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
for me, I'm not, it takes a lot for
same
me
rock thing.
to let myself vulnerable to people and let them know who
Yeah.
I really am, because like I said, this is online. People will. It's not when. No, it's when. It's not if, it's when. They're going to use that against you in the court of public opinion. Okay, from my
See, and I don't.
experience.
Yes, from your experience, I get that. Um, I don't know. I have had some people who, even if I talk to them now, at some point in time, we may have fallen out or we may have stopped talking, right? I never had a concern that they would use it against me, that they would use anything against me or conversations against me. I never had that concern with them. But I'm, like I said, I'm very selective in who I talk to, which I think is like I'm to me using my own judgment, discernment of like if I could vibe with that person, having lots of conversations with those people before we even get to that point, I think is important. But I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm. It's
It's
interesting, isn't
fun
it?
seeing people's character in real life. Johnson was embarrassed to take those photos in public. That shocked the hell out of me. We talked about that last episode, Deets. Me too. I was so surprised that she'd be so shy in public. And I think you were surprised that I'd be so like willing to be out and about taking photos because that's not my norm kind of personality either. So, I mean, it is my normal, but just not what you thought. But yeah, yeah. I have a core small group of ladies that I consider my friends and respect and trust, but in real life, I'm very selective. Interesting. My best friend is my daughter. I love that.
Yeah. I can say I would use best friend for my
Love
daughter.
that.
My daughter is one of the
You
smartest young
would.
ladies I know. I would. Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, see,
Okay.
I find it
Sounds like
comfortable to
she
use
took
it
it.
for her.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. All right.
So I think it's
So
the
was
word I have that's too intimate for me, maybe. The best friend is
yeah.
very intimate to me. Like I
Interesting.
that's weird. Like I really never stopped to think about the word before, but I'm like I would totally use that for my daughter but she's like, I gave birth to her. So of course she's, I would be very comfortable by using that.
Of course, of course. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, this has been interesting to learn, to see the differences of, like how people define relationships and friendships and things like that. One of the things I was telling you about earlier, and I was curious if anybody had seen it. So there is a book that was released. The book is called Yesteryear, and it was released by an art author. Let me go and look up her name because I don't know it by heart, but I thought it was pretty cool. So the her name is Caro
Claire
Claire Burke.
Burke.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Her very first book she writes is called Yesteryear. The book comes out, very first book she wrote, which I think is amazing. First book comes out, and 3 days later, Amazon MGM Studios buys the rights for a movie. And
That's
Hathaway
interesting.
is going to play the main star. She's going to be the main character, as well as she's producing it. Okay.
Mm.
So the movie, I'm going to read a little bit. Um, so the movie is the main character, Natalie, experiences a crisis when she leaves her manufactured, influencer heavy trad wife lifestyle and wakes up in a potentially dangerous 19th century setting. So she's an influencer online who promotes the trad wife lifestyle. And she wakes up in, I think it's the 1800s, is I believe what it was. I think it's like 1885 or something like that in the book.
That's crazy.
I was like, man, like she can't vote. She can't, like,
Right?
there's so many rights that women
So
have
many
in her
things.
current
Oh,
day
wow.
that they didn't before. And it was so intriguing to me. I really want to see that movie. It was just announced that they bought the rights. It just happened this month in April. So they haven't even gotten to producing it or anything like that. But man, I want to see it.
I want to see it too. I find that very interesting. I don't know how I would act if I just suddenly woke up and I was back in the 1800s. I don't know if I would enjoy it. I don't know if I would be like, what the hell? Because for me, a lot of people are, they are raised and to believe like there are no like traditional roles, like everyone's equal, like the wife's equal to the husband, this, that, and the third. For
Yeah.
me, I 100% base my home as there is a head of household in my home, which is my husband. I not that I know a woman's place, whatever a woman's place would be. I okay, I don't know what that really means, but I know what respect means. Of the person that is protecting, I expect him to protect my family. I expect him to provide for my family. I expect him to change a damn tire when the sucker goes flat. Okay. Or oil or all of the things. Okay. I expect that out of him, but then I don't expect for myself to naturally flow into a woman's position to match his socks for him if he doesn't have time. That's a
Hmm.
woman's. Okay. So for me, I absolutely believe in those roles in my home. And I've raised my daughter to have a sense of respect for her husband. But also, the husband has to respect his wife
Yeah.
as well, and is equally, but in different areas.
I think that I am a little bit of like both worlds kind of a thing. So I've taught my daughters that it's okay to be independent and be
Hmm.
able to provide for yourself so that you have a standard high enough when your significant other, no matter what they may look like or be like, when they come along, they can meet that standard or you don't waste your time with them, right?
Right.
So I've taught them that independence, but I also have taught them the softer side of femininity to me in those traditional gender roles, and I equate to those, right? So in the household that I grew up in, which I didn't like, my dad was always the first one served, and then the kids got served their food, right? And I hated that growing up, absolutely couldn't stand it. But when I got married and had a relationship, it felt like me bringing this plate to my husband that's nice hot food was a sign of my love for him, and he had gone out and worked for the day, and it seems so cavemanish to people, and so like, oh god, that's so terrible. Women have gotten past that, right?
Mhm.
I think that there is a balance. I think it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like for me, I'm with you. My husband is the head of our household, and that doesn't mean that he runs shit. Like anybody who knows me knows I'm super type A and I run my mouth a lot, right?
Mhm.
But ultimately, it means that after we've had a discussion on what we think is best, I respect what his final decision is.
Right. Yeah.
That's me. It works for
Yeah.
my relationship. It works for, our household. It's what we have chosen. But ultimately, if that doesn't work for somebody else, it doesn't mean I can be like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Or, oh,
Oh,
that's not
no,
very
yeah.
womanly of you.
Absolutely. No, I don't condemn or look down upon anyone that does not choose to do that in their marriage or they're committed with their companion. That's not my business. What works for me in my house, and I've seen my grandparents have the same role and my mother and father and long-term marriages that I've been around, and that's what I want. And that worked. So why would I want it? Why change something that is broken? That works. And I don't feel
Yeah.
less than a human because I simply am not required to take the car to the Ford shop to get the tires fixed with the mechanics. That's a husband's job, right? And I'm thankful for that. But I'm not downing anyone that does do it if they're a female. I don't care. But for me, I put my trust in the one that I married to take care of those things, just like he
Hmm.
trusts me in certain things in our
Yeah.
marriage. And
Yeah.
I like the traditional role.
Yeah. So Hope Echo says, I like traditional roles in some ways. My hubs takes care of the finances, but does talk to me on any big things. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a big part of our like last night I was outside with him helping him change brakes. I didn't have to go outside and do that.
Right.
It was raining. I didn't want him to be out in the rain. So I just thought, what else am I going to do right now? Dinner
Well,
was already
sure.
cooked. So I just went out there and helped him with the brakes. Did I do much? No. No, I didn't. I handed him this tool and handed him that tool and went and grabbed another socket. That's about all I got.
Right. Right.
But like our daughters, we've taught them, like he's taught them how to change their brakes and change their oil and replace their filters and things like that, because he didn't want them to ever be in a situation where they're dependent on a man who doesn't deserve the title of man,
Right.
and they need them to do those
Yeah,
things
you
for
don't need
them.
to be
So
dependent. It's okay to have the knowledge, but it
yeah.
doesn't mean that if you and your husband get a flat tire together, you're going to beat him to the trunk to open up to get the crowbar. Like, no, I'm going to do
Yeah.
this because I'm the woman. Like, no, my husband look at me like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like, no, 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 no.
So that girl said, I totally feel like there are man chores and woman chores. I'll fight over it too. I know
You
that's
don't
right.
know. Like,
Uh
but you know what? I don't have a problem taking out the trash because taking out the
yeah.
trash for me consists of, because here in like in a lot of places in Florida, you can't have a trash can. You can, but in some places, if you live by a lot of wildlife, they prefer you not to have a trash can on your property. You take your
Yeah.
trash from the inside of your house to a dumpster, like a big community dumpster. And it's a beautiful ride. I take the trash, put it on the golf cart, and I go. So it's not a big deal for me. I'm like, hey, I can take the golf cart. Now, up north
Yeah.
in Chicago, I'm like, oh hell no, take the trash out. It's cold out there.
Yeah.
So no.
Cope says, now my husband comes from a culture that the men get together and make the decisions for the families, men like brothers and fathers of the family.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
That is so
I would
interesting.
that is so interesting, but I I like could see how like the men are holding each other accountable for these decisions, right? Like that impact the whole family. I can respect that part, but girl, that means everybody's in my business. Like,
Right.
That would be
So
hard for me
that
between
would be
those
so
two.
hard. Like, no, like my finances, stay out of my finances, okay? But family decisions, like what to do with mom and dad when they're old, okay, we need to come together as a family. Got that,
Yeah.
right? But my personal finances and how I'm going to pay my electric bill, or if I'm going to buy a new house, or if I'm going to buy a new car, oh no, 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 honey. Mm-mm. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. But you know what? If
Yeah,
you
that's
think about
is.
it though, what if the whole family gets together and is like, okay, they need a new car. Everyone pitches in. And then, you know what? So I can see it kind of working if the trust is there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I in my
She
husband's
said, yeah.
culture, the
What?
family gets together to decide. Well, okay. So the family gets together. Mostly, it's regarding funerals. The family will all get together, and the oldest living male will be the only speaker at this meeting. So he'll ask questions. You can answer the questions, but as far as decisions, the oldest living male is the person making those decisions, which is very
Mm-hmm.
unique because it means like if my husband died, the
Yeah.
oldest living male in his family is going to be making those decisions. I'm like,
Mm,
oh no, we got to put this in writing. Put it in
mm-hmm.
writing. Thank you very much, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not fighting your family. I'm just
Right.
not going to do it. But I will respect, obviously, because their culture, it's part of who they are and it's part of what I married into. So I will
Right.
respect that part of it. But yeah, interesting.
But this lady said, yeah. I'm like, didn't even get to name her kids.
Wow. So they actually do it. So many things have come up and made me realize rose-colored glasses are only for festivals. So interesting. There you go. I used to love edging my yard and stuff, deets. It's all a good workout too. Okay, wait. We have a dump that we use. I've never taken the trash there. I'm not opposed, but my husband does it. There you go.
Just get a golf cart, girl, and go for a ride every day. It's great.
Yes, Peachy, that's a good one. She wanted both of her kids to understand all of the roles of running a home for when they finally leave the nest. I also think it's good to show like some of those manly roles to your daughters again so that they know what they're looking
Absolutely.
for and they know like they will not I just don't foresee my daughters ending up with somebody who is not at a certain level, at least at their level. That's what I'll say. At least at their level with accomplishments, finances, emotional intelligence, because that like that's been ingrained in them. Like we're in it for the long haul. In my house, we have always said, and everybody is different, and this is no judgment to those who believe in it, but we've always said we don't believe in divorce.
Mhm.
Like it's death till death do you part, but that's not like we're causing anybody's death. It's not like that at all. It's just more so of like we're committed to this. Come hell or
Right.
high water, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna figure it out. And we have had to do that over those years. But we've made sure that our kids like know that there are a lot of people who get divorced for a lot of different reasons,
Hmm.
and that's okay. Like that's not a terrible thing. It's just a personal choice whether you choose to believe in it or don't choose to believe in it.
Right. Yeah. And that's a discussion that I think younger adults need to have, even if
Thanks,
you're not,
buddy.
you know, how serious marriage is, because it's very easy to find someone attractive. Like, boy, he's attractive and we communicate good. But then it goes back to those four levels of a marriage, that are you willing to communicate? Are you willing to be committed for the rest of your life? Like, that's a huge commitment.
Yeah,
Okay, and it starts from those little four levels that you like, stairs, I guess you can call it, that are
yeah,
repeated. Then are you willing to do that for the rest of your life with this person? People,
yeah,
because it's very easy to say, hey, yeah, you're sexy and we have great sex, so I think I'm going to marry you. Okay, but no, these are serious decisions that need to be discussed, just like having children. If you decide to bring a child into your committed relationship, is this
yeah,
person someone that you want in your life for your child's life? Okay, for the rest of your child's life, you will be communicating with this other person forever.
yeah.
And that those are serious decisions. And I was having a conversation with my daughter. She's
True.
thinking about researching having children now. And I can't wait for the day. but she was discussing with me about how, teenage pregnancy is so open and talked about and almost celebrated, that women that have decided to go slow and go to get educated, buy a house, get married, and now have a child, they're being ignored. It's not important. It's not celebrated. It's not like, let's wrap our community around the new mom because she's not 16 and pregnant. She's
Yeah.
29 and pregnant. Where's that community of people, that ones that made the right decisions? Are they, we
Yeah.
forget to celebrate them,
Yep.
That's why I learned how to
Yep.
crow and shay shay, because I'm celebrating now. We ain't
So we
even
could get
started
a
yet.
blanket by that time.
Yes, girl.
um Dees had said that her and her husband would have disagreements in front of her children
Mhm.
because she wanted them to learn how the right way to disagree with each other and to get through those disagreements, because I think a lot of times there's this, and I strongly agree with that. I think a lot of times there's this, I don't know, maybe you guys may not feel like it now, maybe it's a little bit realer, but there's this like, this fairy tale image that's put out there. Like you have this beautiful fairy tale wedding, and then you get married and you live happily ever after. And I'm like, that's not how it tends to go. Like life is life, and it will life the hell out of you if you let it. So that to me was just kind of like, I don't like this premise out there. I like to hear the real and the raw, and the everybody struggles. Things do happen. Forgiveness has to happen, and I'm not talking about in extreme situations or very hurtful situations. I'm saying just in the hurt words. Sometimes in anger you say things, but
Hmm.
being willing to actually, humble yourself when you've messed up to be able to apologize. On the flip side, accepting, being able to accept that apology and give that
Hmm.
forgiveness is important too. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's
it
good.
is. I think it's good to see, because an argument is
Yeah,
different than
true.
a discussion about something, right? Arguments are different. Okay, like whenever you're having a yelling match, that's different than having. Okay. So for me, but one thing I would not do around my children as I grew up was have financial discussions, because I think that if you have discussions about your finances in front of children, that it gives them stress, and they're worried, or like, what do you mean? Or they think something, that they, when they're little, I don't have financial decision or make financial decisions in front of my children like that, discussions. But I did teach them, whenever they got to get a driver's license, like, this is how you do a checkbook. I mean, I taught them that, but my own finances I did not discuss, and I still don't to this day.
See, and okay, so like how much is in my bank account? Nah, we didn't have those discussions. Like that's not your business kind of a thing for a kid.
Hmm.
But times are rough. We're gonna have to cut back. We're making some changes in the grocery budget. Um, Stuff like that. I absolutely wanted my kids to know, because I do feel like finances are one of the biggest reasons for divorce. If
Hmm.
you cannot see somebody successfully navigate through those challenges, then what tools do you have when it's you?
Right. Hmm.
So I'm very like very transparent with transparent in the sense of like right now, we're trying to get our floors replaced. So I've had to tell all of my kids, like, listen, for the next 3 months, I want to have somebody else do it. I don't want to DIY it myself.
Right.
So I want to pay the extra good money to get the good stuff, right? So I am cutting back on all of the excess malarkey. Don't ask me for jack diddly. I am broke. I'm telling you today, I will be broke for the next 3 months, right? And so I put it out there to them. I'm letting them know, one, that I'm gonna be gonna be saving over the next month, but also I don't just got it like that I could just go out and buy new flooring and pay somebody to
Right.
come install it today.
Right. It's expensive, actually. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
When my kids got their
Hi,
around the
Tiffany.
driving time, that's whenever I taught them more about finances and how to keep a calendar and know when things were due and how to pay their bills, make their own medical appointments. I would be on there with them, obviously, but a lot of kids that went to school with them didn't even know what their doctor's name was, like how to even contact their doctor. I'm like, are you serious? So those things were very important to teach my kids as they grew up. But man, I'm going to tell you what, everything is done on your phone now. This other generation that's coming up, oh Lord Jesus, I don't even know how to communicate with them. Like, do I just
What?
text you, or do we sit at the table and
Mhm.
text each other back and forth? Like we don't really talk. We just sit across the table and text each other back and forth. The first time that happened to me
Yeah.
with the nephew, I was like, "We're right here. Why? Can you just? What is happening right now?" He's like,
Okay. So I'm that weirdo. My husband and I will go to a barbecue and we'll be in, like, let's just say opposite sides. Hey, Wise Angel, and have a good day, Tickety. But we'll be on opposite sides of the barbecue, and it'll be us. Like, it's us. I'm texting him like, "Do you see Judy over there? Now you know good and well she should not have, said that out loud about her man, or look at John over there sitting next to Judy, knowing good and well Jacob isn't gonna like that."
but that takes all the
Like,
fun of someone hearing you and starting like a whole
oh,
freaking
girl, no, I ain't
barbecue
trying to.
situation,
No,
girl.
I'm trying to talk my shit. I ain't trying to get into no fights. Okay,
Oh,
here's a question
girl.
that the chat just brought up, and I'm curious
Okay.
about.
Okay.
Would you have done a prenup,
What if
or
I
how do you feel
me?
about prenups?
But okay, so that's for my husband to do one with me. Yeah.
Okay.
But did I know? Would I be against it? No,
Okay. So for
because
me,
that's
I
under
feel
the.
like
Go ahead, Nani. I'm sorry.
that's okay. Sorry. For me, it's a no for a prenup. And it's not really about the finances part, the money part of it. I get that people want to protect their what they have. For me though, it's preparing for our divorce.
Okay.
So that's just, it would have been a no for me. If my husband was like, "Well, I need a prenup before we get married," I would have been like, "Yeah, I guess we're not getting married then, because I'm not planning for a divorce." That's
Hmm.
just me. Yeah.
That's you're putting your trust in one person, and you do know him, you do trust him, you are marrying him, but you never know. That's the thing. And like I said, there's 8 billion people in this world, and you have to protect yourself always. Okay.
Mm.
And that's the way I look at it. And it's always under the assumption that the man, it comes into the marriage with the money, and I really think that is amazing that the man always should have the prenup. But what if the woman is the one that walks into the marriage with the money? Should the man get a prenup?
I don't think it's any different for me. I just, for me, I'm just saying for me. I know a lot of people believe in them. Do you, boo? But just
Hmm.
for me, it wouldn't matter who asked for it or who needs the
Yeah.
protection. Asking for it in my mind is like, well, listen, we know divorce is an option at this point. So just in case, let's go ahead and get this in writing to protect us.
Right. Yeah. For me, I think it
I don't
just
know.
depends on your finances. Like for me, if you think about like generational wealth. So 6 generations worked very hard, and this generation gave to this generation. They worked hard, and it went that, and it's your like generational wealth. And now you are like the last generation, or your children, right? If they have children, so now it's your generation to inherit all this wealth because that died, and
Yeah.
now you inherit it, and now you're going to marry someone. Okay, so are you okay with your generational wealth potentially be given to someone if they decide that the relationship no longer works for them, and they take your family's generational wealth?
I mean, I think that I understand what you're saying, and no, I don't think it's fair. But I think it's like, who are you marrying? Like, do you really know that person? And I get sometimes, well, okay. Sometimes we got to be honest, we ignore red flags.
Oh yeah.
And then other times we just didn't even know that that's who this person was.
Right.
And so I think that like there's two different circumstances that are possible there, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for me, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't, for me, it just like it's saying that like we know it could potentially end up here, so let's just cover ourselves. And I never want to think that it could potentially end up there. Obviously, there's the reality of it, but I'm trying to stay away from, I'm trying to be on the 49% of things when it comes to divorce, not the 51.
Yeah, I don't want to encourage divorce when walking before you even get married, right? That's not
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
don't view a prenup as that.
Okay.
From my perspective, you just never know how what life will do, you know?
I like Beezer said, I would sign it. I'd be in favor of one if it had a null and void clause after 10 years.
Mm,
I was like,
okay.
oh, okay, all right, okay. Like I feel like that's a little bit negotiation. That feels a little bit more, Yeah,
Yeah.
Tater's like that too. There are other protections that can be put in place when it comes to generational wealth and inheritance. It doesn't have to be a prenup.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
M-
That's true.
Mother-in-law
Hmm.
My mother-in-law has in her will that if we get divorced, I cannot get any of their farm and land. That is fine with me. Interesting.
That's true, Deeps.
Okay.
Yes.
With 50% of marriages ending in divorce, a prenup is a smart thing to do. You can't control the actions of your spouse. People change over time. That's true. Yeah, I get that. Okay, here's my next question for that. Um, oh no, I just forgot it reading her comment. Man, I had a good question too. The prenup, somebody said something else that made me think. Oh, would you get married again?
Yeah. I think
So
that
your husband is gone tomorrow, knock on wood, for whatever circumstance. He left with Judy down the street, or he just went to go be with in heaven. Would
mm,
you get married again? Is my question.
I depending on the age and it depends on a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
um, I don't know. There would be a hot for me personally, my outlook on it. Am I against people getting remarried after their spouse has passed away? No. But for
Yeah,
me,
no.
it would be a really high standard for someone in today's world to meet me where my husband is. And that's unfair for that other person. I would need somebody to treat me with the respect that my husband does. And I would not ever settle for anything less. So I would probably be single. Okay.
Okay.
Now my father passed away, it'll be 3 years um this summer. And I encourage my mom to go on like a dinner date or out to coffee with someone because she's lonely. She misses my dad, something terrible. But I'm not telling her to go out and get married. Okay. I'm not telling her to
Okay.
go out here and do bow chicky bow wow. I'm just encouraging her to maybe find a companion that they can maybe travel with or go out to dinner or have a coffee or something with, you know?
Beezer has my answer. Beezer said, "Nope. I have this one trained and I'm too old to do it again." I know
Right?
that's right.
Right?
Most of the people did say, they said they wouldn't like go looking for it. Most of them said no. And then if you said, I wouldn't go looking for it, but I kind of would be open to it, but not looking for it, going out there. That damn Judy is thirsty. I know. I know. Yeah, yeah, no, it's a no for me at this point. Definitely, I would do some hoeing for sure. I would do some hoeing. I would have some companions that could service my needs. But I don't think that I would want to like it's a lot of work to train that person and to,
Yeah.
for them to get to know you. And the older I get, the less patience I have. And so to use that patience all over again to try and do something like that's a lot. It's a lot to do. So
It is a
I don't
lot.
I don't think I'd be open to it or really want it. So I don't know.
No, it would really have to. Oh, I couldn't see it now. Could I see myself with someone? Oh no, I got the person that I want to be with, and that's it. I would be very difficult for even having someone physically touch me. Like, could you imagine
Mm.
some guy come and try to hold my hand? I'd be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Stop it! My husband's
Uh,
gonna see you. Oh wait.
yes, right? Like it would be so awkward for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of see where my mom is. It's an awkwardness, right?
Yeah.
But I
Or
understand the
even like, how
desire.
do most of the people right now are dating on like in online apps?
Yeah, that's weird. Like I
Meeting in
get
person
it,
on
but
an app and being like, "Oh, I'll swipe right on you, sir." Like that would be weird.
yeah, I don't think I could. No, no, I can't swipe right or left. I'm not a swiper.
Spudler said, "Right now, I want to divorce our dogs who kept me up most of the night, but hubby says they all come as a package." I think as women, we spend our lives taking care of others, and if we find ourselves alone, we love it. So I wouldn't marry again. I agree. I
Mm,
agree. To not feel that need, like I feel the need to like cook and clean and maintain a home and things like that. To not have that need to just eat cereal for dinner tonight because I can, like, hell yeah, I'd be here for that.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't go to spring break in Texas, Nanya. Listen, listen. I know somebody who recently went to the Houston spring break. I won't mention it, but yeah, yeah, it's fun times apparently. So, all right. Anything else that we want to talk about?
No, I think we covered all of the relationship bases. Good,
Yeah.
bad, the ugly.
Yep. I agree. I agree. I'm good with ending here. I really appreciate everybody joining us and chatting with us and just talking about things, giving us your perspective. Even if we didn't agree with it, and but just respecting us all having. Um, oh, do you put your children ahead of your husband's or vice versa? Okay. So there's a
Mm,
question online that talks about your husband, and your children are in a situation and you can only save one of them. Are you
mm,
saving your husband or are you saving your
mm.
children? And I've seen that
Wow.
question everywhere. And every time I see it answered the way that I would answer it, people are outraged by that. I would be super curious. Do you want to say what
Mm.
your answer would be?
Well, I got to think about this. What was your answer? I got to think about this. Hang on,
Mm,
because I have.
well, mine
Oh,
is, yeah, mine would be, it doesn't mean I love them any less, but for me, my husband comes before my kids. And I would save him because I can't replace my kids, or not that I would ever want to. I pray that I'm never in that circumstance as it is. But my husband would come before my kids. And that's
mm.
crazy because I know most people are like, hell no, my kids, deserve to have a life. Well, they all deserve to have a life. But yeah, it's a hard one. But my husband is
Yeah,
absolutely,
that's
for
super
me, he would be
hard.
first.
That's super hard decision because I don't know. Um, Even though that my children are all grown and out of the house, right? But I don't know. But are we allowed to ask our spouse, like, what would they would like for our decision to be? That's where I would have
No,
to have a communication with them, be like, listen, here's our
no,
choice.
you
No,
cannot ask. You can only make the choice. That girl says we're just all dying together. I know that's right.
listen,
That
I can't
girl.
answer that. I would have to seriously. I don't know. People, some people don't believe in praying, and some that would be something I
Yeah.
couldn't make that decision and decision like that. I would have to literally get on my knees and ask God what to do because I have such a love for my children. To look at them and say that I'm picking someone over them would be
Yeah.
absolutely, for me personally, would be
Heartbreaking.
devastating to me. And that would be
Yeah.
something that I'd have to live with. And also picking my husband or my either vice versa. I would know. Mm-mm.
Okay. What about, so there was another question that was similar to this. Thanks for asking whoever asked in the chat in the first place. There's a question that is like, put these people in order. So it's like, what would your husband say? Right? Wife, daughter, and mother. And you have to
Oh,
put them in order, 1, 2, 3. Like who comes first, who comes second, who comes third.
even though his mother is no longer living, he would
Yeah, let's say
100,
she's alive.
yeah, he would 100% say mother, wife, daughter. His mother, he would definitely say mother, wife. If his mother was alive, it would be mother, wife, daughter, 100% without a doubt.
Okay. Okay.
And that's my
Okay.
perspective now. He's not answering it. It might be completely wrong, but I know that him and his mother were very, very close. Like we have things in our home that we've carried with us for years that is
Yeah.
just not to be getting rid of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that girl and Deets said the same version. I think that would be our answer as well. So it'd be wife, daughter, mother. Jacob said wife, mother, I'm a daughter of someone, but have never felt that. So IDK. Mine
Mm.
would say wife, daughter, mother for hells. Okay. You should not be after the mom, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm gonna have to ask him now. Now I want to ask him and see what he says.
I
I'm
would
pretty
ask my
sure he would
husband,
say
but
wife, daughter, mother.
I don't know if you guys have been hearing, but he has not been. He's been doing something in the all through this whole situation, our life. He's not feeling well, or I would ask him. But
I did
he
not. We can't hear anything,
okay,
so that's a
good.
good thing.
That's good.
But I do hope that he feels better very quickly. And whatever you guys eat, that you do not eat that again.
Oh, we're not eating it again. We were both. Oh, and we have to know it's the food because we're both like that. I'm doing better than him, but
Okay.
he's
Oh,
having it rough over here.
oh, poor thing. Sorry, Larry.
Dang it, Larry.
Poor thing. So, okay. All right. Well, that's enough of our questions here. See how that goes. Um, there's one advantage of being divorced. You saved your kids because there's no husband to save. There you go. Exactly, Callie. In a hypothetical
Yeah,
situation,
I
you
can agree
win.
with that. Girls Graveyard. I like that. It says you aren't married to your mom. You made a vow to honor your wife above others and before God. I can see that. But I would say my husband did make that vow to me, but I'm thinking that if his mother was alive, that her word would be over mine. And that's what I'm not talking life
Mm.
or death situations here. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
surface level. I'm talking like
Just,
mom wants
yeah,
spaghetti and you want macaroni. We're not having it. Mom said spaghetti. It would be definitely that, in my opinion. In
yeah,
my opinion, I'm not talking
yeah,
life
yeah.
changing events here.
Yeah, no, no, no. This is strictly just very surface level things. Who would get to say so?
Oh, mom, definitely.
Okay, okay. Hakope says she doesn't want her boys to pick her over their wives. And that's the same for me, Hakope. Don't pick me first. Like honor your wife first. That's definitely so. All right, okay, for sure. We're actually ending now, okay?
Okay.
Because Lady K needs to go and rest and help Larry out.
Yes,
So
I got to go help Larry.
yeah, thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We had a great conversation with you guys, and we will be back on Thursday. Well, we won't be back, but the channel will be back
Hmm.
on Thursday. It'll be a night stream, so we'll be back to the 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. And let me go and look and see who it is going to be. Give me just a moment here. Schedule. Here we go. And it is going to be the 23rd. It's actually going to be Chasing. Chasing and Gavel will be on
Cool.
together. So feel free to come on by. And I'm not exactly sure what their topic will be. Currently, it is set up for something regarding and around politics, but it's very open ended and they may change that. They may have something else that they want to talk about that day that strikes them a little bit stronger. and that's okay. But they could potentially do that. They may also, it's listed as possibly an Epstein stream. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they'll be here Thursday night. And so we will see you there. Don't forget to check out the shorts that are on the page and give them a like as you're going through it.
All right.
All right. Thanks for
guys,
joining, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for the conversation and for keeping it respectful. Oh, and shout out to the replay crew. See you next time.
Hard days you stayed, pulled up, listen, arguing clean, kept distance. You could have dipped, you chose to build. We kept it sharp, but we kept it chill. No cheap shots, just real views. Iron on iron, still cool. So thank you for